In the summer of 2025, a baby monkey was born at a quiet zoo just outside Tokyo. He was small, he was alone, and he was clutching an orange stuffed animal that was almost as big as he was. His name was Punch, and within months, the entire world would fall in love with him. July 26, 2025, at Ichikawa City Zoo in Chiba Prefecture, just east of Tokyo, a new life entered the world. A baby Japanese macaque, a snow monkey, was born to a mother who, for reasons zookeepers still don't fully understand, wanted nothing to do with him. Zookeeper Kosuke Shikano would later recall those first hours with great care. When a baby macaque is born and the mother doesn't take to it immediately, we watch very carefully, he said. In those first hours, everything matters. Baby macaques need to cling to their mothers, to something, to build muscle, strength, to feel safe. When we realized his mother had abandoned him, we had to move fast. A zoo visitor noticed the newborn lying alone and alerted staff. Keepers rushed in. The tiny monkey was taken in, bottle-fed milk, and placed under the round-the-clock care of 2 dedicated zookeepers. He was named Punch, after Monkey Punch, the beloved Japanese manga artist who created the iconic series Lupin III. It was a big name for a very small monkey. In the wild, and in zoo environments, baby Japanese macaques spend their first weeks and months clinging to their mothers almost constantly. This physical contact isn't just comfort, it's biology. It builds their muscles, shapes their nervous systems, and teaches them how to be a monkey. Without a mother, Punch was missing something fundamental. Keepers tried many things, rolled up towels, different stuffed animals, searching for something he could hold on to, something that gave back a little, that felt like a body. What worked was an IKEA jungle skog orangutan plushie, round, fluffy, and orange, with wide, slightly goofy eyes. It was not exactly what nature intended, but from the moment Punch wrapped his tiny arms around it, something clicked. The internet would later nickname her Oran-Mama. To Punch, she was everything. Japanese macaques live in complex social groups. There are rules, hierarchies, and rituals that take years to learn. Dominant adults keep order. Younger monkeys play and tease and test their limits. It is a world of constant social negotiation, and a baby who grew up without a mother had a lot of catching up to do. On January 19, 2026, nearly 6 months after his birth, zookeepers made a pivotal decision. It was time to introduce Punch to the troupe. Takashi Yasunaga, head of Ichikawa City Zoo and Botanical Gardens, knew it would not be easy. Punch is very outgoing. That is his nature. He has always been curious, Yasunaga said. But curiosity alone does not prepare you for the social rules of 60 macaques. We hoped his spirit would carry him through. We also knew it would be difficult. It was difficult. In the early days on Monkey Mountain, Punch was scolded repeatedly. Older monkeys would push him away, chase him, or grab him roughly. To human eyes, especially to the eyes of zoo visitors who started filming these moments, it looked like bullying. It looked heartbreaking. But zookeepers were quick to offer important context. What visitors were seeing was not cruelty, it was education. Scolding is how macaques teach, Shikano explained. When an older monkey corrects a younger one, it is showing them the rules, where to stand, when to approach, how to behave. Punch had never learned these things from a mother, so the troupe was teaching him in the only way they knew how. No single monkey showed serious aggression toward him, and through it all, Punch kept getting back up. Yasunaga's assessment was simple and unwavering, mentally strong. That is how I would describe him. He was scolded many times, but he was never broken. On February 5, 2026, the social media team at Ichikawa City Zoo did something simple. They posted Punch's story online, a brief update about the baby macaque who had been abandoned at birth and was now learning to live with his troupe. They included a photo of him with his stuffed orangutan. By the next morning, the world had lost its mind. Within days, videos of Punch had accumulated tens of millions of views across every major platform. People who had never followed a zoo, never particularly cared about primates, found themselves glued to updates about a 7-month-old monkey in Chiba Prefecture. The hashtag #HangInTherePunch spread in dozens of languages. Fan accounts appeared overnight. Punch merchandise was designed by strangers who had never met him. Even Stephen Colbert mentioned Punch during his monologue. The story had crossed every cultural and linguistic border imaginable. One fan summed up what so many were feeling. I follow Punch updates more than I follow the Olympics, and I know how that sounds. But there's something about him. This little guy who got dealt such a tough hand, and just keeps going with his little stuffed animal. I needed that right now. That sentiment, I needed that right now, echoed across comment sections and group chats around the world. In an era of constant bad news and digital exhaustion, Punch offered something rare, a story with no villain, no politics, and a protagonist who just needed someone to root for him. The IKEA Jungle Skog orangutan stuffed animal had been a modestly popular toy for years. Families bought it for children's bedrooms. It showed up occasionally in college dorm rooms. It was not, by any stretch, a cultural phenomenon. And then Punch happened. Within days of the viral explosion, the Jungle Skog orangutan was sold out across IKEA stores globally. On secondary markets like eBay and Macaque, resale prices soared, some listings exceeding $350 for a toy that originally retailed for under $30. People were buying it, not just for children, but to show solidarity, to own a little piece of the Punch story. IKEA noticed. On February 17, 2026, IKEA's Japan team made a personal visit to Ichikawa City Zoo. They came bearing gifts, 30 DJUNGLSKOG orangutan plushes, donated to the zoo for Punch and for the children's areas of the facility. IKEA CEO was among those who visited. The company's official Instagram post, simply captioned, "Where ALL Punch's family now," generated hundreds of thousands of likes. Ichikawa City Mayor Keo Tanaka offered a statement of his own. "We hope the gifted plush toys can continue to be a source of comfort and help Punch gradually adjust to the troop." It was, by every measure, the most wholesome brand moment of 2026. Ichikawa City Zoo is a beloved local institution, but it had never seen anything like this. In the weeks following the viral outbreak, the zoo became a pilgrimage site. People traveled from across Japan and from abroad specifically to stand at the viewing area of Monkey Mountain and catch a glimpse of one small macaque in a 60-member troop. One visitor in her 30s, standing outside the zoo, put it plainly, "I drove 2 hours. I don't even usually like zoos very much, but I just wanted to see him. I wanted to be able to say I saw Punch." Over the 3-day national holiday weekend marking Japan's emperor's birthday in late February, more than 6,000 people visited Ichikawa City Zoo in a single day. The following day, approximately 5,200 visitors arrived, parking lots filled before mid-morning. Entry lines stretched to 2 hours. By 3 o'clock in the afternoon, staff began restricting admission to protect both guests and animals. Zoo officials issued public apologies for the entry delays, an unprecedented situation for a facility that had, until recently, been known primarily to local families and school groups. Viewing zones were established to limit stress on the animals. Guests were asked to follow a 10-minute viewing rule and to observe quietly. By nearly all accounts they did, because this crowd had not come to be entertained. They had come to support a monkey they felt they knew. As videos of Punch being pushed, grabbed, and chased circulated online, concern grew in some corners of the internet. Was he being bullied? Was he suffering? Should he be separated from the troop? Shikano understood why people were worried. When you watch a tiny baby being grabbed by a larger animal, your instinct is to intervene, he said. But what they were seeing is not what it looks like to human eyes. This is how macaques teach their young. Every correction Punch received was teaching him something. Where to stand during feeding, how to approach a dominant monkey, when to back off. He was getting an education. Zoo officials were careful and consistent in their communications. They released regular updates explaining macaque social behavior in plain language, emphasizing that no single monkey had shown serious aggression toward Punch, that he had sustained no injuries, and that most tellingly, he kept going back. As Yasunaga put it, he would be scolded, and then 5 minutes later he would try again. He would approach another monkey, and if they pushed him away, he would try again. That is not a traumatized animal. That is a very determined one. Animal welfare organizations, including PETA, raised concerns during this period, arguing that Punch's attachment to a stuffed toy was a sign of stress and social deprivation, and calling for his relocation to a sanctuary. The zoo and many primate experts pushed back, noting that Punch's hand-rearing and gradual integration were consistent with best practices, and that his resilience suggested a healthy emotional foundation, not a damaged one. The keepers who knew him best remained calm. They had a plan, and slowly, carefully, that plan was working. Grooming is not just hygiene in macaque society. It is diplomacy, it is friendship, it is trust. When one monkey chooses to groom another, they are saying, "I accept you. You belong here." In late February 2026, zookeepers reported a new development. A larger monkey had taken an interest in Punch, not to scold him, not to chase him, but to groom him. Then another followed. The keepers watched carefully, barely daring to breathe. When we saw the grooming, we knew something had shifted, Shikano said. Being groomed by multiple members of the troop is not just tolerance, it is acceptance. Punch was being incorporated. On February 23rd, keepers shared an update that sent the internet into collective celebration. Punch had not been scolded that day. He had been observed playing freely with the other baby monkeys in the troop. And during feeding time, a moment that had previously been a source of anxiety, when Punch would linger close to his human caretakers rather than descend with the troop, he climbed down from his keeper's foot, on his own, and ate with the other macaques. He chose the troop, on his own, because he was ready. In a year defined by political noise, economic anxiety, and an endless scroll of disasters both large and small, why did the world choose Punch? One fan captured something many were feeling. He didn't ask for any of this. He was just born, and his mom left, and he found this stuffed animal, and he just kept trying every day. That's it. That's the whole story. And somehow, that's everything. Perhaps that is it. In Punch, people saw something they recognized. Not a monkey, exactly, but a feeling. The experience of being small, in a world that sometimes feels very large. Of reaching for comfort when comfort is scarce. Of being pushed down and choosing, again and again, to stand back up. His zookeepers saw it too. They had watched him since his first day of life, bottle-fed him, worried over him, cheered silently as he navigated a social world he had no roadmap for. They were not surprised the world had fallen in love with him. He is a very special monkey, Shikano said. But I think what people are really responding to is something in themselves. Everyone knows what it feels like to start somewhere new, to not quite fit in yet, to be looking for someone to accept you. Punch is all of us. A little bit. As of late February 2026, Punch continues to thrive at Ichikawa City Zoo. He eats with the troop. He plays with the younger monkeys. He is being groomed by members of a community that, slowly and on its own terms, has claimed him as one of their own. His keepers still watch over him. His fans still check for updates. And Oran-Mama, a little scruffy now, a little worn at the seams, is still within reach when he needs her. The zoo has asked the world to continue supporting Punch and all the members of his troop, not with pity, not with worry, but with the same quiet faith the keepers have shown since the very beginning. He's going to be okay.